Hello everybody, hope you're doing well and you've had a great week so far. If not, then maybe this news might cheer you up. There has been one remake that's kept coming up in the news over the past year, and that of course is Oblivion. We've already heard plenty of times that Oblivion is getting a glow up and a remake in the works by Virtuous. This is the team who's also helped with the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake set to release later this year, as well as Horizon and Bioshock. This leak officially got confirmed by the Microsoft FTC merger court documents when the whole Activision Blizzard fiasco was happening, which showed an Oblivion Remaster releasing in the financial year 2022, which has been and gone by now, but this was an official document at least. This was also alongside a Fallout 3 remaster which was set to release in financial year of 24, which sadly there's not been any more recent news about that I've seen. I actually expected to see more news on this following the success of the Fallout TV show, but maybe they're waiting for Season 2 to drop so they can capitalise on the franchise that way. Anyway, back to Oblivion. The scale of the Oblivion remake was questionable. Were we going to see a HD remaster? Were we going to see a remake? Or were we going to see something massively ambitious? A supposed leaker has come forward, who was a former employee at Virtuous, who has since stated that the game will be quote-unquote fully remade. This will be in Unreal Engine 5 and suggesting the potential of significant changes compared to the original game. This may not please the pure purists out there, but I'm sure Oblivion has not aged perfectly and will need a little bit of adjusting for the modern era. I feel like there's also a need to add a lot more variety to the world, including textures, tile sets, and refining some of the open world areas in general, as my memory of this was they were quite lacking. Maybe not for back then, but for what you'd see in modern games anyway. The same leaker mentioned changes to the stamina, sneak, blocking, archery, hit reaction, and HUD gameplay systems. I do personally hope these are refinements and don't change how the game plays fundamentally. Although saying that, I would be glad to see some changes to the combat system overall, as my memories of Oblivion were just wildly slashing until the enemies just dropped dead, and not getting much reaction back from them at all. They then went on to state that the stamina system has been completely modified to be less frustrating to the player, making the knockdown that occurs when stamina is depleted more difficult to activate through the changes in the calculation method. I can see the HUD changes being a massive point of contention for players. The leak suggested that the HUD was changed to make it easier to understand and more aesthetically appealing to young players. The cynic in me thinks this just reads as we're dumbing it down to make it as simple as possible, which sounds like a negative change. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has proven recently that you can have a nice looking UI without it being completely minimalistic, and it works very well. This is something I will have to wait to see before casting any more judgment on though. I would be very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments though. What gameplay changes would you like to see changed in an Oblivion remake, and what would you like to see kept the same? Being a 19-year-old game, the people who did play it originally for sure have some very opinionated, nostalgic thoughts, and I think you have to strike a really hard balance to get it right when you're remaking these things. Everything I've covered so far though has been previous information that we've known for about a month or so. There is new information that was released last night that got me a little excited. This came from Nate the Hate, the industry insider and generally very reliable source of game leaks. He originally expected this game to release in June, with a small announcement window before a shadow drop most likely. However, in a recent post on Twitter, he was asked for any potential update, in which he responded, "Either this month or next month. Release is likely to be sooner than the original June target, but we're still working to get details on the updated release date. This means we could potentially see a release date as soon as the next few weeks. With GDC coming up running from March 17th to 21st, maybe it's something that will be released around then. Although this would be an out of the ordinary move for Microsoft to announce something here. What is more credible, however, is Oblivion's original release date was March the 20th, so maybe a nice 19th anniversary surprise. Either way, I think it's best we take this information with a pinch of salt, but if you see any Microsoft events announcements coming up and Oblivion Remaster is on your wishlist, then I would make sure to tune in. In other Microsoft news, Jez Corden has said to expect the first Xbox handheld device to launch later this year. It doesn't seem to be Microsoft that will be making it though. Project Kennen is its development title. It is part of Xbox's bigger picture to expand its horizon past the home console market. This will be aiming to capitalize on the mobile PC market that the Steam Deck brought to the limelight and continues to sell exceptionally well. Project Kennen will be developed by Asus, creators of the ROG Ally, a Windows handheld and competitor to the previously mentioned SteamOS based Steam Deck. This will be the first handheld to have an Xbox-based UI integrated into the OS. With my understanding, it will be running a custom version of Windows, with just saying there's going to be a large amount of effort being poured into the Xbox app, Xbox Services platform on Windows, and the Xbox Game Bar on Windows to that end. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be an official Xbox console or if it's going to amount to something like an ROG Ally 2, and this is going to be the new standard OS available to all OEMs going forward, as a move to block off losing market share to SteamOS devices. This would make sense to me, following a recent move from Valve allowing other companies to produce their own SteamOS handhelds to fill the market alongside the Steam Deck. This does indicate that the handheld will not play Xbox games directly, but instead play Windows games, with a device being a PC rather than a portable Xbox. The Play Anywhere initiative does mean that the Xbox players who purchase their games on the Xbox Store should be able to play some of their titles on the PC. But unfortunately, from what I'm aware, this does not spread to every game, and there will be games players have to buy again if they're already an Xbox player. Another blow to the Xbox console player base, which is getting a lot recently. There is some good news though, PC Game Pass should function as normal. And as it's still basically a PC, I still expect users to be able to install Steam and their accompanying library alongside that. They might just have to do this outside of the console UI. There is still a lot in the air of this one, with things like pricing and specs to be confirmed, and with the rapidly changing markets and the availability of chips, there's a chance that the release date might be pushed back a lot further. I have left links in the description to both Nate the Hates X account alongside Jez Corden's article regarding the Microsoft handheld if you want to know more. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.